Hello and welcome to True Story for Business. Joining me today is Dominic DeMichelle, and he is the owner of NES Events, as well as, what was the other thing, the bridal?
Well, I'll tell you what, it's NES Events is actually our name, and we oversee two different sides of the business. One is expos, in particular bridal expos and some other things, and the other side is ticketing, which is under the name DirectTix.
DirectTix, that's what I was trying to come up with.
Yep.
Yeah, so we talked a little bit before we started the interview here, and man, you're just such a personable guy. You're such a likable guy.
Thank you.
Like I feel kindred spirit almost. What you're doing with your events is cool, and the ticket thing like blew my mind when I looked at it. I was like, that is just so smart.
Thank you. It's been a couple of years to put it together, but the idea is that we want to be able to offer ticketing for any event, free of charge to the person who's throwing the event, and make it nice and easy for everybody. When we've done these events, we realize that ticketing is one of the most difficult aspects of what the event is. And
right, because you're not like a carnival barker sitting there, get your tickets here, folks.
Right.
Like,
right.
Yeah,
that's gone.
Who's taking care of it?
Yep, those days are gone. And again, most people that we work with are not software savvy. They don't know how to write code. They don't know how to create a barcode, for example. So how do I get people to come to my event, buy a ticket online, when these big ticketing companies won't touch us?
Right.
And that's how it came about. So we got out there, started working with some bigger festivals, some smaller independent people as well, and we came up with the idea that we can be a consulting full-service ticketing company and not be a software company, and actually go out and find the right software for the right event. So the way we ticket one event this weekend, we might be using completely different software for the next event next weekend because it works better. So the fact that we're not a software company allows us to provide the best software in the end, which is a weird way to look at it, but that's what happens.
It's pretty amazing, and I got to tell you, like from my perspective, I have a lot of friends that own film festivals. I'm an indie film guy at heart, and they're always complaining about it. Like, you have to put out the Facebook thing. Are you going? And then it's got to be a separate thing where they got to pay for it, and then they got to send them an email, or they got to print like an actual ticket. A good friend of mine recently had an event, and he actually printed out these ridiculous metal tickets because he's like, if I'm going to print out a ticket, I'm going to print out the best ticket ever seen. But it's impractical. It's like super impractical for like any event, I would think.
Yeah, and it's expensive to do that.
It was crazy expensive.
Yeah, and again, it's basically unnecessary because your ticket buyer is not looking for that. They're looking to pay to get an event and get in. So again, we barcode, email to your email or text it to your phone. Your phone is scanned at the door. We can provide all the statistics you might need afterwards, who came, who didn't come, what time did they come.
Well, yeah, I didn't even think about
stuff.
that just from a logistics standpoint. Like that would be some great data to have.
Sure.
And you could help, kind of fine tune your events around that.
Sure. When you have this kind of data from an event, you can actually do a festival, let's say this year, and get your ticketing information of when people were scanned in, for example. So now next year when you're planning your next event, you know that you were busiest between 5 and 6 p.m. and you don't have to staff the whole day the same way, and you can start making smarter decisions. Or for example, you know that you're busy from 4 to 5 and then 7 to 9, and maybe you can open up the second gate and allow more people in. And you can start to plan that instead of having kind of, and again, there's cost involved in having staff and open gates and security at each one of these entrances all day. So we can actually project for you exactly how your people showed up last year to the minute.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely amazing. Just to have that data, it saves money, it saves time, and then you're doing the service and you're not even charging the event holder.
No. See, that's one of the things too that we do a little bit differently. There are ticketing solutions out there that are do-it-yourself. You need to know some little bit of internet savvy. You have to know some kind of coding.
Listen, if you're throwing an event and you got a million things to plan, like it's not what you need to worry about.
Right.
For sure, right? Who wants to go through all that?
A decimal place in the wrong spot will take a $100 ticket and make it a 10-cent ticket.
Right.
And we've had clients where that's happened to them for the first day. That happens.
And then you got to honor it, right?
Yeah, well, yeah. Otherwise, it's real bad. But again, to go back to the data, when you get this data, you will know who came to your event, what time they came, that kind of thing. You also know who didn't come. Now you have a marketing opportunity on the back end for your next event or for whatever it may be to be like, thank you for coming. You know, it was great to see you there.
Oh yeah,
but we missed
the
you.
further contact. Yeah,
Yep.
no, I hadn't thought of that either.
Yep.
Like, yeah, this sounds like this is a winner all the way around.
Yep.
I mean, just on the ticketing aspect alone, just you know, saving yourself the hassle, the headache of trying to, you know, figure out software.
And we're full service too, which means this is the best part about it, as far as our clients' feedback has been. You sell an event, you sell tickets to an event, you have 1,000 people that show up. Out of those 1,000, inevitably, you're going to get emails and phone calls saying, I want to resend my ticket, or how do I give my ticket to my friend, or I can't go anymore, or what do I do? And again, you're running the event. Now you have 1,000 people out there who are responding and have questions about the actual ticket. We handle that. So the customer service side of the ticketing comes to us. Again, at no cost to the festival or the event.
Wow, that's just genius. I mean, when I was looking at the website, I'm like, Jesus, this is just the smartest thing I've ever seen.
I appreciate that.
And then, and then now talking to you and getting to understand it more, like yeah, it's kind of a no-brainer, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm assuming, you know, and not that you want to talk the dirty thing, but you got to get paid too. It's like a percentage.
Nope. What we do is when you buy a ticket, you'll see tickets $50 plus $20 in fees.
Right.
So you pay $70 as a ticket buyer. Our fee is on a $50 ticket would be $5.95, and that's how we get paid.
Right.
And
yeah,
we're literally less than 30% of what any other ticketing solution is, and the other ticketing solutions, some of them, will charge both that fee, a large fee, to the buyer, as well as a fee to the venue or the
Right.
event.
No, that totally makes sense. And by doing that, you're basically spreading your costs out over, you know, the field instead of, you know, having it come right directly to the event holder.
Exactly.
And it just makes more sense. It makes more sense all the way around, right?
Yep. And the thing that works out in our favor as well is that because we're not a software company, we don't have those costs to cover. So, for example, if you're a software company, starts up and gets into the ticketing side of things, you have a large cost. You have a staff, you have a building, you have coders, you have customer service, you have this big, huge thing going on. Because we use third-party software, we have none of that cost. We pay a little bit of a licensing fee for the software. So we are able to have a much lower fee to the ticket buyer.
Right.
And that also makes the venue happy or the event, because if you're charging a $50 ticket, but the buyer's actually paying $70, there are some times where people will be turned off to that event because they don't care what your ticket is,
Right.
it's what they pay. So the bigger the fee, the more it hurts the event. Sure.
Yeah.
So we keep it as low as possible, and we work with everybody. We go on site for free. If you have a festival with 2,000 people, we will send people there to help work through the gates and help consult with how it should go.
So now, how do your clients, your event holders, get the information out to the people that are going to come to the event to get their ticket this way?
Right. Well, again, it's once we set up an event, we'll give them a link, and on their website, on their Facebook, however they promote, click here, and when they
So
click, it just goes.
it's literally
We're behind the
getting
scenes.
your webmaster to just put a link up on the site.
Correct. We are not a standalone, Ticketmaster type site where
Right.
you go to this place to buy tickets. You go to our website to buy tickets, which is another benefit we have.
Well, it is, because even if somebody doesn't buy a ticket, you've now raised the SEO of that particular website.
Correct.
Just with the extra traffic.
Correct. And the other side of it is that when you send somebody to a ticketing website to buy a ticket, not your own, they tend to market to your people. So if someone's throwing a barbecue festival, for example, and someone goes in and buys a ticket, the ticket buyer can inevitably start to get emails from the ticketing company saying, now buy a ticket to this
Well, it
event,
happens all the
that
time,
event.
right?
Right.
I mean, like me, I buy tickets for various different sporting events, from a couple different places, and I get just constant emails with
Mhm.
things that don't even matter to me, like,
Exactly.
Selena Gomez concert. Man, I'm good.
Right. And with us, we don't do that. You own your list. We do not. We don't market to your people. We won't market somebody else's events to your
Yeah, it sounds like
buyers.
a much more secure way of going about it. Like there's just, it doesn't seem like there's any downside at all to just
No.
having you do the events.
Exactly.
And
that's
in my mind, I'm already thinking, all right, well, if Jason throws an event, but we gotta throw an event. Like, how can I hook these guys up with you? And that's ultimately what I'll do. I'm gonna refer
appreciate
you
that a
people
lot.
to you because it's just so smart. Like,
Right.
it's a no-brainer. Like, I'm thinking maybe I'll hold an event here to get people through here and just do free tickets or whatever.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
we I have one coming up in Atlantic City. It's celebrity boxing. And I've been working with Damon Feldman, celebrity boxing promoter, since 2007. And he's put on some really great and some really wild stuff.
Okay.
So we've been doing these, and he's one of the clients that's really focused on the event. So he doesn't want to get online, do ticketing, get involved with software and all that. He's a promoter. He's on the radio. He's on TV. So this has actually gotten to the point, not with him, but with a couple other clients, where I will just get a text message, and it's just a flyer. And it says, whatever the event is, ticket price, whatever, and I just get this flyer. And I know to now go and create the event, send him back a link, and say, now your tickets are on sale. It's gotten that easy for him where there's not even a conversation anymore. I just get a text message with a flyer, and within a couple hours his event's on sale. So there's all that stuff that has to happen when you put an event on sale doesn't even have to happen.
Yeah, that's so amazing. And this is only half of NEC events. What does NES stand for?
It was National Event Systems.
National Event Systems.
In 2011 we had National Event Systems Incorporated, and over time it just evolved.
Right, everybody wants shorter. Yeah.
NES events.
Yeah.
So on the other side is we do, NES does expos, bridal shows, and coming up in November of this year, we're going to do our first CBD expo in Florida.
I know we were talking a little bit before about that, and it's just so smart because it's the #1 growing product in America, first of all.
Right.
So to throw an event for it just makes sense. Like, it makes sense at this point, and it really helps people, right? So CBD, for those of you who don't know, is a byproduct of marijuana, but it's not the THC. It's not the drug. It's not the hippie stuff. What it is doing is it's helping people with back trauma, like myself, with knee trauma, with anything, problems with their hips. I mean, the main or most growing demographic of that is elderly people.
Sure.
And it's better than them taking all these hundreds of pills for XYZ, rheumatoid arthritis, whatever, you name it. And I don't know a ton about it, but it seems like a very smart expo to have.
Sure.
And I hope you take a lot of footage.
Yeah, we will. We'll pass it along to you as well. It's we were approached to do it. We were asked to do it by someone who was looking for the specific type of event. And when we looked into it, we found that, because again, it is a new product, but we found that it is helping people, and the feedback is phenomenal. And it's not a drug.
It's not. It's better than aspirin, is what they're saying.
Right.
Because aspirin thins out the blood, and it causes problems, with your kidneys, liver. Like this stuff has no side effects.
Right. And we're finding out that people, there's products for pets and all kinds of stuff. So when we started looking into this, we thought it would be a good idea to try this expo. And as we start to get more into it, and we start to learn more about the product, we start to learn more about the people who are going to come to the expo to see these products and what they're looking for and what they want, we're really excited about it. We're not in the CBD business, but we are in the expo business, and we found that there's a lot of interest in the products and the vendors and
You'd have to think in at every level. I mean, from your standard consumer to your medical professional, I imagine, has some stake or interest in this.
Exactly, and we're finding that, again, we're finding there's a business-to-business aspect to these expos where someone will come in and meet another vendor at one of our shows, and then they wind up doing business together over time, whether it becomes a new vendor for them or a new client or whatever it may be. So our expos actually have a business-to-business aspect to them that isn't necessarily defined in the show, but we found a lot of that began to happen and continues to happen. With the CBD, we're expecting a lot of that because we have retail and we have the producers of the product. So because they'll all be together, they're looking for that opportunity to get my product in stores, and the people who have the stores are looking for different products to sell. So it seems like we're onto something here. We're going to continue to do it.
It sounds like, and bridal shows you'd mentioned, that's kind of like a big thing for you too, right?
Yeah. In 2011, moved out to Arizona from Philadelphia. Before that, Brooklyn, New York, as a kid. So come out to Arizona in a different place, completely different climate, different everything. It's just a whole
different mentality.
Definitely. It took a while to get used to that too, especially
it
coming from Philly.
It takes a while for us, Northeasterners to slow down.
Yeah, I always thought I was like the aggressive one, and coming out here it was a bit too much sometimes.
Yeah.
So it's like slow down when you talk. But came out here and got to talking to some friends. And years ago, I had done a bridal expo when I was a DJ. I was like a kid, 20 years old, and I thought about doing one. And I rented out the Scottsdale Stadium where the San Francisco Giants have spring training. We did a bridal show there. The idea was once and done. I'm going to try it, see what happens. And now here we are. Well, it's 8 years later already. Still doing them twice a year in Scottsdale. We've done them in Philadelphia, Allentown. Going to be doing one in Florida again. Events all over. And what we found with the bridal shows is that same thing. It's brides tend to want to see what they're buying. They want to meet the DJ. They want to meet the photographer.
Of course they do. It's the most important day of their life.
Of course,
Yeah.
And it's like it's hard to do that online.
Oh, it's absolutely impossible.
Right. So we were able to create one spot where everyone can come that's getting married and buy the stuff they need, or not even buy it. It's not even for sale.
Just meet
to
the
meet the
vendors.
vendors. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a flea market situation. Nothing's for sale.
Right.
But what we found over time, and we started with a very simple philosophy, which was when we do a show of any kind, everybody wins. The vendors win because they meet their new clients, and the clients who come in win because they get the best deals. They meet the best vendor that works for them, and they get to see and touch what they are shopping for, which offsets a little bit of the internet stuff.
Yeah, it's just, again, just smart business, right?
Appreciate that. Yeah.
You're putting the people in front of what they need.
Yep. And that's it. And again, when you're looking at a marketing budget, a lot of our clients' marketing budgets, because they're small independent businesses, photographers, and I mean, we have large clients too, big hotel chains and such. But a lot of our clients are small businesses, photographers, or videographers, for example, or dance studios, things like that. And their marketing budget, in order to compete with these larger companies and to get a piece of that and to get in front of these brides, is very expensive. So to be able to take a spot at one of our shows and have the brides come to them and be able to talk to them one-on-one is very effective for them.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's nothing like face-to-face communication, right?
Exactly.
I mean, it's a lost art these days, and what you're doing, just you're putting the personal touch back into it.
Sure, exactly.
It's gotten so impersonal over the last decade or so with internet sales, Amazon, and whatnot. But
Well, it's who do you trust at your wedding?
right,
It's like
it's only the most important day of your life until
Right.
your kid's born.
Right, right. And it's the idea is I want to know who's going to be here. I want to like them. You have to have a relationship with them throughout the show and throughout the wedding, rather. I mean, it's got to work. So you can't do that. You can do it online, but you have a better shot of doing it well in person.
Yeah, I think it's definitely something that needs the personal touch of an expo, or having meeting your vendor directly, and not just like, oh, let me look at this guy's rating on Yelp or whatever.
Right, and how much stock do you put into the
Well, you
rating
can't,
show?
right?
I mean, let's do
Here's
that
the
all
thing
day.
about obviously I have a business. My business is rated pretty high. I'm lucky enough not to get that person yet.
Right.
But that person's out there and they're just waiting to come here. You
Yep.
know what I mean? There's nothing you can do about it. It's like you cannot please 100% of people.
No.
So those reviews, like, they get a lot of times written by like your worst day, like, and that's what stands out the most, right?
Right, and
Like, because if you're looking at the list of reviews, 5-star, 5-star, oh, what's this 1-star?
Yep, it stands out, and that's
It
what you
stands
read.
out.
Because everyone's happy, but why is this guy not happy? And
Right.
it's all the time.
And the truth is, that's just that client, right?
Right, and again, you have 100 clients, 5 of them review you, 4 say it's great, 1 says whatever, it's not great, but the other 95 are not accounted for because people don't necessarily review something they're happy with.
Right.
It's unhappy.
It's right, exactly.
And so that's what gets it. We, my brother and I, going on a tangent here, we go on a lot of cruises. Try to go once or twice a year. We go together because, hey, you can plan it with your brother. He's going to be there anyway.
Right.
So,
Yeah,
no
no
one's
doubt.
backing out, right? So we went on this beautiful ship at MSC Seaside, and wow, just amazing ship, amazing everything. We come off and we see a review from our cruise, and it said they served us dog food. And my brother, like, where did you, like, what in the world is the best buffet I've ever had? That was the best dinner I've ever had. What, they served us dog food. So again, it's we were there. We were on that ship, on that cruise, and I mean, we were not only happy, we were so blown away. And that was what motivated my brother to make a review, because he saw one that was so bad that he wanted to say, I was on that cruise, I didn't have that experience at all, but otherwise he wouldn't have reviewed it.
Right.
That dog food, right?
Dog
So
food.
it's dog food.
Yeah, you gotta love that one.
But that happens, so.
I had a question come to
Sure.
mind about, not to go back and forth, but
That's
about the
fine.
ticketing.
Yeah, sure.
Does that give demographic information too? Like, do you do like an age range and all that good stuff?
We can. So the thing is, we can ask that information when someone buys a ticket. Usually it's just, you get.
But,
the
you know,
information.
on their request,
Mhm.
probably.
So you could say how old are you or whatever, and we could add things like that. We can add things like, would you like to buy a T-shirt when you buy a ticket? There's all kinds of stuff.
I
And
didn't even think of that. Buy some merch.
Yep, and it's because what happens, and I just went through this with a local to Phoenix festival, and they were asking about that, and they had asked, can we send somebody to a certain landing page? Someone buys a ticket, okay, thanks, and send them somewhere, maybe they want to buy a shirt. And they're really not selling that many shirts that way, if any. And the issue is, I just spent $50 as a ticket buyer, now you want me to spend more. I'm already done, I put my credit card back in my wallet,
Right.
it's not coming out. So we went back and took a look at, okay, I want a ticket. And then another thing, would you like to add a T-shirt for X amount of dollars? And people are more apt to add it on at
To
that
do
point.
the bundle
That's
at the
correct.
point of sale.
Mhm.
No, that makes sense.
We learned that.
That makes total
Yeah,
sense.
but we can collect all the information when we ticket the bridal shows, for example. We ask when's your wedding date, how many people are coming with you, just so we have an idea. So you can ask any kind of demographic questions, and again, we could require it, but when someone's buying a ticket, you don't want to require it
Yeah,
too
you don't want
much.
to require too much. They're not
Yeah.
taking a test.
Right.
No, I totally get that. Yeah, no, I'm still just completely blown away with the ticketing side of things.
Right.
And the expo stuff, like
Sure.
I've always known, that's kind of like, it's the best thing to have face-to-face interaction with your customer.
And it's
your
fun.
hottest lead.
And it's fun.
It is. It gives you something to do. It
Yeah.
gives you a chance to, stand up on your soapbox and brag about your business. Like this place, blood, sweat, and tears. Like literally.
This place is great.
And I love standing on my soapbox, and
Sure.
especially at like events and different networking things. Yeah, I got the best studio in the world.
Absolutely.
I'll tell you about it.
Absolutely. And
But
it's
that's
great.
what an expo is, right?
Sure, yeah, and exactly, and it's fun for especially the bridal expos. The brides tend to show up with their entire bridal party, and they're all shopping together, and they're walking through and like, I really
Shared
like that
experience,
person.
right?
Yeah. The other thing about doing a show like this, and our bridal expos are free to attend. By the way, we don't sell tickets; it's a free ticket. You could bring your mom, you could bring your dad, you could bring a decision maker, and everyone goes shopping together. So now as a vendor, you don't get a call from somebody going, well, how much is a wedding dress? Now, someone walks past you, you can show them pictures, you can show them an actual dress, and there's mom who's helping make that decision. She's right in front of you too, and now you have everybody as a captive audience, which is another thing that vendors really appreciate.
Yeah, no, I just, are you selling stock and what you got going on? Can I buy some of this? Like, seriously. All right, what else do we got here? Oh, what's next? What's next for NES? I love NES, by the way, because, Nintendo Entertainment System.
Yep, at first we thought about this, maybe we can't use it.
Well,
but we
they
can.
don't use the dots, right?
Right, and
Yeah.
and it's, you can't just trademark
Across
three-letter.
all platforms.
Right,
yeah.
it has to be that. But yeah, so NES, what's next for NES is we're looking ahead to these CBD expos that are coming up, and we're getting a lot into the ticketing. We found that there's a lot of fall events that are happening that we've been contacted with, and we're excited about that. And we found that there's a lot of things out there you may not think of when it comes to ticketing, but from a business standpoint, it works great, and for our clients, it works great. For example, we had a golf tournament, large golf tournament in Phoenix, and somebody was running buses, and they'd pick them up at a bar,
Right.
and take them to the tournament, and then at intervals come back and return them to the bar. And they were selling tickets, or they want to pay to get on the bus. We ticketed that, and what we found was that because there's 60 people on the bus, and they do it every 2 hours over the course of 5 days, when you add up 300 people over 5 days, 1,500 people, that's a significant size event if it was one event happening at one time.
Right.
So things like that popped up that we never thought of. We have a gentleman in New York City who does once a month. They take a cruise ship out or a yacht, and they ticket that. And that's something else that I hadn't thought of, but a decent party they throw out in the middle of the Hudson on the yacht.
Yeah, you're hitting on my retirement plan right there.
Yacht in the Hudson?
It won't be. It won't be in the Hudson.
Yeah, it can't go that fast. It's like mud.
No, my retirement plan is to buy a little place in Hawaii and then do tours, like just quick 4-hour tours. $25 a ticket type thing on not a yacht, but a decent sized boat.
We, like I said, my brother and I cruise a lot, and there's tons of that at these different cruise ports.
Right.
And I thought the same thing.
Yeah, they're just little tour boats, and a lot of times they'll nail them right into the beach there. They'll buy a spot from a hotel, usually.
Right.
And they'll put their little anchor there, and that's where they hook on, and load them up, 20 people, $25 a head, take them out for an hour or two, come back, do it again.
Exactly,
and I could see like that kind of business really needing a ticketing system like that.
Because you could buy tickets online if you are on a cruise. A lot of people look ahead and go, when I get to this port, what is there to do? And the cruise line will offer 4 or 5 different excursions or plans, but a lot of people look online to find alternatives to that. And you would ticket that. They would just buy a ticket.
Yeah, we got just the nautical things alone. My mind's going crazy. Like, 'cause you got fish and charting boats. You could probably just branch out your own Hawaii-based website ticketing center and
be great.
Make all kinds of money.
Yep. Luau, right? Everything. It happens all day.
My goodness.
Yeah, that's what happens.
It's a good business model. It's a really good business
that.
model. No, you're a smart dude, for sure.
That.
But anything else you want to add to people? You want to let people know any kind of websites you want to send them to, or?
Well, our events that are coming up, you can go to ScottsdaleBridalExpo.com. That is our next event that's coming up in Arizona. That's going to be October 20th at the Scottsdale Center for the Performing Arts. And anytime anybody might be interested in the ticketing side, you go to directtix.com. It's DIRECTTIX.com.
I got to tell you, just in meeting me, I think you're going to get a couple new clients.
I appreciate that.
It's just smart. It takes so much of the extra legwork away. It's very smart.
Awesome.
Yeah, so everybody, it's Dominic DeMichelle, and he owns NES Events.
That's it.
And the Tix is directtix.com, Tix with an X. You can hear the X in my voice. And the Scottsdale Bridal Expo is, ScottsdaleBridalExpo.com. That's pretty straightforward. Like, how do you forget that one? Huh?
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Brilliant. You're a very smart dude. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks, Michael.
Yeah, no, it's been a great interview, and you can catch more from the show, pretty much weekly, or just drop me a line here at True Stories Weekly.